Hello guys, good evening, good morning.
Hello,
Yes,
sir.
good
Good
evening.
morning. Good evening. Sorry.
Good evening. Okay, so I see still people are joining in. Let's wait for another couple of minutes and I will start. I hope that's okay.
Hey, good morning,
Yeah,
Aisha.
sure.
Sir, may I know your name? Who is the trainer?
My name is Ganesh, Ganesh Bhure, and I have introduced yesterday. Did you get a chance to go through recording? Vamshi, you're talking, right?
Yes, I'm Vamshi. Actually, I had a shift yesterday, so I couldn't attend the yesterday's class.
Okay, okay. How about your Python basics? Do you have any background?
Yeah, I have completed my Python.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so that's okay then. Yesterday it was more of basic, and
Okay.
yeah, so that's okay. It will we
Uh,
are continuing with the Python this session as well.
okay, and may I know where these recordings I can access?
Do you have LMS portal access?
I didn't check it actually.
Okay, check with support team. They will help you with the login details for lms.cognitia.com. If you go
Okay.
there, you get a login ID and password. If you log in, you will get your own portal where you can see your courses. Like I can see my course here, right?
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
that you'll be able to see that. Okay.
Okay, sure. I'll do that.
Okay, once. Okay. Meanwhile, by the time people join, let's have a quick discussion with the questions if you guys have any. I see Bhupesh. Yeah, good evening, Bhupesh. I don't know if you were there yesterday. I just forgot. So yesterday we had basics about the Python. And Tanish, I can see your question. What is the relation between Anaconda and Python? Anybody else have this confusion as of now? Yes, anyone has similar question, or if no, then anybody understand can somebody explain me the answer otherwise? What is the difference between Anaconda and Python? Okay, nobody knows, nobody
Yeah,
has doubt
Abhidip
on that.
here.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, Abhidip.
Yes, Abhidip, yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
So, Python is an programming language, and I can say Anaconda. It's a platform you can use the Python language to. It's a environment provider for the Python to get your stuff done. Am I
Okay.
correct?
Yes, right. So let me elaborate a little bit. You're right, sorry, Abhidip.
Mm-hmm.
But just to add little bit for Danish to get little more clarity, if you guys heard about C programming earlier, we used to have Turbo C and Black. I don't know if you guys experienced that. The black window, and we used to write small programs way back, maybe a decade ago, maybe, right? So the C program we can write there. C program we can write in MS Microsoft Visual Studio. C program we can write in any other IDE like NetBeans or Eclipse, right? So the what is the difference? The compiler is the same, right? So different IDEs are available in the market. Let's talk about Python. Python executable when you install Python, right? So that's a small software which is installed on your system. You can simply write a program, something like this. I'm on Linux machine. Just a moment. Yeah. So I'm at. Sorry. Let me. Yeah, I'm at desktop now. This is like a Linux system. I just open a test program .py and I write a simple program which does hello world. Okay, and I'm done. I can simply run this program using Python executable. Okay, so this is a Python code. Okay, this is how we write a program, and we can also execute using your Python. Why I write Python 3? Because I have Python 2 as well as 3. That's the reason I'm using this. But for you guys, it is simply Python space test.py, and that should work. Okay. So this is how it works. We don't really need anything to run this such kind of Python programs. We don't need Anaconda, we don't need PyCharm, so we don't need anything Sublime or any software we might be talking like a IDE. Okay, so this is as simple as that. I have a Python installed, I have a proper syntax, and I can write a small code, I can run it. That's all, right? Now there is another scenario where a software development community, software developers generally work on something called IDE, okay, integrated development environment. So where this gives a little more flexibility for the developers to write code. They have little more sophisticated way of handling some syntax in the IDE. And also there's a debugging tools available. So as a software developer, if you want to do more coding, so IDEs are much helpful. Okay, so in that scenario, we can go for some IDE, right? For example, PyCharm is one IDE. Okay, and similarly there is something called Spider. Okay, Spider is another IDE. Okay, and now what is Anaconda? Anaconda is a suite of softwares. It is like a package where we have so many other softwares as well. Okay, so why we install Anaconda is because if I install Anaconda, I get a lot of other things like Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook is another one more type of okay, I just skip this PyCharm. I think there is something. Yeah, no problem. So I have muted everyone. Sorry, guys. There was some disturbance. I will unmute if somebody has to say something. Okay. So this is one ID, something like this. It looks like this. Okay. For that matter, you can have like Eclipse. You might have heard, right? So it is something similar, right? These are the IDEs. We can write our programs. So so Anaconda Navigator provides you some more additional stuff like one more IDE, that is Spider and Jupyter Notebook. Okay, I'll come to that. Bhupesh says Python run in IE only and any other desktop environment like Notepad++. It can work on Notepad++. It can work on a VI editor like I have shown you just now. Here I have my program. So those who have some little bit of Linux background, they probably understand these commands, what I'm doing, this VI editor. But for those who don't have any background, you guys can simply open your IDLE. Okay, on your Windows, you can simply open that, and here also you can write, it is an interpreter, or you can also write your Python programs. Just a moment. Yeah, so a new program you can write. It is like a textbook. You get it. Sorry, notepad. You can see that. So here also you can write here, hello world, and you are good to go. You can run this run tab. You will see it is exactly the same as Notepad on your Windows, but only the run button will be available even for you on Windows. Okay, the moment you do this, you have to save this file. You can save on your desktop somewhere. Test2.py. Py is the extension for Python programs, and when you run, it is executed, right? Again, we don't need this IDLE as well, right? IDLE is just a integrated development and learning environment. Still, let me just open that file. See on desktop, where is that? Yeah, on desktop I got to see this file, right? I can simply open in the text, that is like a notepad in Windows, and I have this Python program, and I can anytime go and there I can run this as a Python code. Okay, we don't need IDs, any other IDs as such. So that answered a few things. One is we don't need to be restricted to only Internet Explorer or any Chrome or any other browser to run our Python code. You can run your Python code on your system if you have basic Python version installed, or you can run your Python code on your Jupyter Notebook, that is Internet Explorer based IDE, that is web based IDE, or you can run the same program using let's say Spider. Let me open the Spider as well, right? This helps you to get little more exposure on how your programs looks like. Okay, so let me open the Spider now. Okay, okay, just a moment. The Spider generally takes little more time for me. The reason is I have installed so many things. Not installed, but there are many programs I have. What happened? Crash during last session. So now remove your Spider configuration file. It's okay. Okay, yeah, I have only one now. I have removed other probably. So I can simply create a new file, and I can simply do print start of my program. Okay, then n equal to 10 if n is greater than 5, print n is greater than 5, else print n is less than 5. Okay, print end of my basic program. Okay, now this is how my Python code looks like. Now tomorrow we are going to write big code, big softwares in Python, or maybe we write some machine learning model. Maybe we write some code for processing with the data, pre-processing or exploratory data analysis. So we do get collect the data as part of your machine learning or data science projects. So a lot of things we can do, and this is the way we can start writing your code. Right, the moment you write it, you can simply save it. So give some name, let's say oops, what happened? I'll save it on desktop just for temporary purpose, and I run here. And the moment I run, it takes little time for first time. So yeah, the execution started, and I get the output here. Okay, so this is the way I can run as well, right? Or there's an alternate way I can do the same thing here. So I can see this file python 3 space untitled 0.py. See, I run this program here and I get my output here, right? So this is all different things we are trying here to just understand that these all are exclusive to each other. So if I have Python installed, I can run simply the Python code, or if I have Spider installed, I can only work with Spider, or for that matter, I can also copy the same program in a Jupyter notebook, which we have used yesterday, and simply I can run here and I get output here itself. Is this clear for everyone? We have done multiple ways of how to write the program, and what is IDE, what is Python, and what is Spider, what is Anaconda, what is Jupyter Notebook. Is that answered you, Bhupesh, Danish, Vamshi? Yeah, he said yes. How about Danish? Yeah, Danish said yes. Okay, Bhupesh got it. Okay, perfect, guys. How about others? Anybody had similar confusion? Especially those who don't have any programming background, feel free to ask, because this is what we are going to use. Why we are learning Python, by the way? Okay, how many got a surprise that okay, you guys need to learn Python for data science course? Was it a surprise or you knew it earlier? Anybody has? I will unmute everyone, guys. If you want to speak, you have to unmute yourself and speak if you want to. Hello, you guys are there? Not surprised,
Yes.
Abhideep? Mhm.
Yeah, we already knew that we need to learn Python for data science.
Okay, okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect, guys. Right. So yeah, that sounds good. Python is much popular these days because of many reasons, especially because of the way it has been. The community has been working on Python for making a lot of packages available. So it has definitely overtaken the statistics libraries or the machine learning libraries. Some of the advanced statistics concepts compared to R programming, right? R was something people used to use earlier. Now today also there are few companies they work on R, but there are many people now prefer to use Python or R as well, right? SAS or R, or you talk about many programming languages. Python has made a very demanding position in the market in terms of machine learning, data science projects. Okay, not only that, we got very advanced deep learning libraries. The big shots, big companies like Google, Microsoft, they have developed their platform based on with the compatibility of mostly the Python, right? Yeah, but deep learning packages are also available for other programming languages like C++ or some other programming languages. But Python is something primarily used in these projects. Okay, and not only that, Python is more stable because Python is a general purpose programming language, not only in data science projects, but this can be used in banking, in telecom, in retail industry, writing your application, your server side programs, your web development, your testing automation frameworks. So there are many things has been done, and that makes Python more stable and easy to learn. It makes things easy for us, and it much powerful to support everything what we need as a data scientist. Okay. Yeah, so perfect. So okay, that's great. You guys, that's why we need to learn Python. So obviously there might be few people who have to manage projects, but still I suggest that Python helps a lot in doing your management stuff as well. There are different types of jobs in data science. We already, I think, talked a little bit yesterday, but just to refresh, data analyst or data engineer who work with different data sources, or ETL or big data, Hadoop or Kafka, whatever, right? So then the machine learning engineer who is working on building your models. Guys, just 30 seconds. I go on mute. I have to open my door. Somebody is knocking. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, guys. So yeah, we are talking about machine learning engineer, research engineer, or data visualization, a data scientist. So there are many roles as such in the domain of data science, and for every role, I see that a lot of people use Python for every task it comes to them. Okay, so let's continue. We are somewhere yesterday talking about okay, about the loops, break, continue, right? I hope this is now good for you guys. You guys are comfortable. Today we will move on one step ahead, one step forward, and it will be a little bit more on strings. Okay. So in string, we have seen that BIR of, let me increase my zoom out a little bit. Okay, I think this is now better, right? So if I do this, there are a lot of object functions, right? This is what we have seen. There is something called capitalize, and there are a few more functions I want you guys to explore. Okay, now explore means you just try, get a help page of it, and run this on one particular string and observe what happens, right? That's the way you can learn. Now the next thing what we can do is we will try to understand how this string looks like in the memory, right? We have already discussed yesterday that the moment we create, let me just change the color. Yeah, the moment we create some objects like this, right? So Python is fun is stored here, right? I don't want to write the whole string here, right? Whatever it is, okay? So, and yes is a reference which points to this particular memory, right? Correct. So now I want to see how this yes looks like. Okay, now yes is this one, and there is a subscript operator. That means in the square bracket we can simply write 0, and I surprisingly see that this p is printed. Is it not like those who have some C programming background? It is like the array of some data structure, some primitive data type, right? So let's say array of string or array of characters or array of numbers. So those are can be accessed using some indexing, right? So that means this Python is fun. This is accessible like at 0th index this p is available, at first index this y is available, at second index this t is available, and so on. Okay, so that means if I write yes of 3, what is output? Quickly, can somebody? Yes, for few of you guys it is not a big deal. You might be wondering what's big deal here, but I still see different answers. Somebody says T, somebody says H, somebody says PYTH, somebody says somebody says a different answer by PYTH. No. Okay, so let me tell you, okay, I don't read out the names, I get wonderful answers, but different answers surprisingly. But there are few people I think who have answered very correctly. But just now I said, right, p is located at 0th index. This gives me p. So at third index, that is 0, 1, 2, 3. Third index it is h, right? So it prints h because every element of this particular object, that is string, is accessed through the index. Okay, and those indexes are this is how it looks like, right? These are the index we can access. Okay, so those who answered yes, probably you guys have missed that this 3 doesn't refer to the third character in the string, but it is referring to the character at that index. That index is 3, and index starts from 0. And yes, Bhupesh, space is also considered because space is also a character, right? So how to print space then in that case? How to print space? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I do 6, yes of 6, this will print space. See, look at this, there is a space printed, right? Yes of 6, Anupama, you're right. Vaishnavi, it's not 7. A 7 is a position of the space, right? It's a 7th position, and the 7th position character is placed at 6th index because index starts from 0. Okay, so this is how we can do. Now that means I can do yes of 13 to get what? I get something different. There is wrong, right? It is saying that string index out of range. That means I have only 12 indexes, right? If I calculate this total length here, there are total 13 characters, but 13th character, if I want to access, it is available at 12th index. So this 12th index is 12 gives me n. Okay. Now there is something new in Python. Okay. And that new thing is, here there is a negative indexing which is also possible. Okay, I write yes here, and yes of -1 also works here, and surprisingly it prints me something n, right? That means it is the last character, right? Let me also see what this -2 does. -2 gives me this one, right? So that means in Python, if this is at 0th index, sorry, let me just clean up this. Yeah, if this is at 0th index, this is at first index, this is at second index, this is at third index, and so on. Okay, and also this last index is at 12, right? Because just now we have calculated that. U is at 11, right? And so on. Correct. How to access this n is using yes of 12. But here this n can be accessed using -1 as well. U can be accessed using -2. F can be accessed using -3. So that way, in the reverse direction, there is a provision to access these elements, these items in your program. Okay, so that is how excuse me. That's how this negative indexing also works. I hope this is clear. Any confusion? How to access this space here? Yes of -4 gives you the space, which is this space. Yes, Tariq, reversing a string becomes easier, but in fact it is much more easier when I speak about there's something called slicing concept in Python, right? So we will come to that reversing part. Okay, for now this is how it is, right? So one more thing, I have something called len function. Len function is a built-in function. Built-in functions we have seen like print, dir, help, type, right? These are few built-in functions we have seen yesterday. Alien is another built-in function, and alien gives me the length of a string. Okay, now let's say n is equal to 100. Do you think what alien will give? So this won't give anything. It, in fact, it gives me the error, right? Because alien will work on only the iterable objects. Okay, when I say iterable object, means an object on which I can make some iteration, I can move on, I can pull out some elements out of it. So such objects are called iterable object. Okay, but number is not a iterable object. I can't iterate on each digit as such, right? I can't access that. That means I can't write n of 0 the way I do for string. Is that clear? Now this is obvious, right? Because in string it is a collection of characters, but this is also a collection of digits, but this individual digit doesn't play any important role as such, right? That applies in any other programming language as well, right? So length of iterable object we can do, and we will talk about other iterable objects today itself. Okay, so this is clear, right? Any confusion anybody has? So what we have seen today is yes of 0, yes of 1, yes of 2, and so on. Okay, so this is what indexing we have seen. We also have seen that yes of -1 is possible, and s of -2 is there, and so on. Okay, negative indexing, that means. Okay, and also I can do ln of s -1 gives me what? Anybody quickly, can somebody answer to me? So Python is fun, it is available in front of your eyes, and this is what is the output of this quickly. 12 n. Poonam says 12, and lot of answers again. Okay, so okay, 11, 12, Yan, Abhidip says Yan, Vaishnavi says Yan, Tariq O. Okay, guys, so many answers. Vamshi says error. So why do you think, Vamshi, it is a error? Any thought? Jitendra is saying you. Okay. There are few people who answered right, but there are few people. Let me, before I answer correct one, let me write this way. What is this? Is it not S of 12? If yes, then what is S of 12? Yeah, so Vamshi is saying that that returns a non-iterative. Yes, obviously it returns a non-iterable, but that doesn't matter because yes of index expects a number, right? Because we have already seen that yes of 0 is non-iterable, right? We don't care, right? What is that? But it has to have a number, correct? So 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on gives me some character out of this particular string, unless it is out of the scope. Means unless, if it is beyond 12, it gives me some error, which we have already seen here somewhere, right? Correct. Now okay, Vamshi says he got it. Tariq still says you. Tariq, s of 12, what is s of 12? 0, p0, y is 1, t is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 is n, Tariq, isn't it? Yeah, Sachin, you're right. S of 12 is n. So it's not u because 12th character, it's not, it is an index, right? An index starts from 0. So that gives you the answer to this particular command is n. Okay, so n is the right answer. So I just want to understand from guys who have said error, who have said u, who have said 11, Danish and Shubhasri. So do you guys understand? Subhasri said 12, Danish said 11. So I just want to clarify that. Sachin also says 12. Uh, did you guys understand? Sachin understand, it seems, right? He also answered second time with Yan. Okay, other guys. Okay, perfect, guys. Perfect. I got it now. Okay. So I hope this is clear now. So that means, as long as what this returns is important, this returns a number that is 13 and -1, this resultant will be 12, and s of 12 is a valid statement, and this works. So we can have such kind of multiple things we can put together, and there is no problem at all. Okay, now this gives you n. So I just twist a little bit, not to confuse you guys, but what happens if I do something like this? Okay, I do this here, right? It gives me 1. So yeah, again, there are few people got it. Index start from 0. Yes, Tariq, you got it now, right? Perfect. So yeah, here this is as good as length of n, and length of n is valid one, right? Because the output of this whole thing is n. Hence, length of n is, because length of Python is fun, I can do. That means length of n also I can do. Length of n is obviously 1. Perfect. Okay. So now there is one more thing which is little important, and we are ready to discuss is little confusing, Jitendra. Yes, I made you guys little confusing because I'm just combining so many things, but this is still on the basic level, guys. Yes, Jitendra, which part I can help you to clarify a little bit more? If not whole thing, I can't repeat right now, but which part you think that it makes little confusion? Is it fine till this point? Till this point, till line number 18? Is that fine? Forget about line number 19 for now. Okay, line number 19 is confusion for you, Jitendra? Okay, line number 18 is where Shubhashri is also confused, right? Just a moment. Line number 18. Yes, line number, how, okay, Anupama is saying how length of n equal to 1. Okay, Jitendra is at line number 19, Shubhashri at line number 18, and Anupama line number 19. Okay, line number 19 was this one. Okay. Okay, let me write this. Yes, yes of 11 I can write, and I get u, because this u is placed at as a 12th character in this whole string, right? And the 12th character is located at index 11 because indexes starts from 0, correct? So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, 3, and so on. Okay, and if I continue this way, right, so I see that this goes here, this becomes your 11, and this becomes your 12. There's no confusion here till now. So s of 11 is u. That's the reason s of 11 it is u, right? Now let me tell you length of s. Is this clear? If length of s is 13, it is actually counting all the characters in the string. It is not counting the indexes, right? How many characters are there literally, right? Python has 6 characters, is 2 characters, 6 to 8, and fun is 3 characters, 8, 3, 11, and this is 1 space, and this is 1 space. That means total 13 characters, and it is silently doing this addition of all the number of characters, and total it is saying that there are 13 characters. That is what length is. Okay, now let me also write down one more thing. Suppose if I write this, is it not same like 12? Obviously yes, because this calculation happens first and the output of this is 12, and hence I get s of 12, and s of 11 is u, then s of 12 is obviously n, correct? So this gives me n. So just to for you guys, or I can also write s of 12. Okay, this is clear. Now length of length of yes, we already know this is 13 minus 1. What is the output here? 12. So if output of this is 12, how about if I write this? What makes different? Nothing, right? Length of s is already calculated. This is 13, and minus 1. This whole thing gives me 12, and s of 12 gives me n. So no problem here. Okay, Poonam has one more example, but I think till now you guys are okay, right? Now let me go further with the length of this whole thing, right? But for now, this is what I have explained. Now what Poonam is saying is, okay, Jitendra says he's good as of now till line number 25. He is good now. So yeah, Poonam, this is the string. Okay, let's say s equal to I am 20. Then s of 5 is 2, and you are right. Okay, now will it return length of s of 5? So now length of s of 5. So why it should return, obviously, right? Because s of 5 is a string. S of 5 is a string, that is 2, that is single character, and length of this is obviously 1, right? Because length is of only one character is so 1 only, right? So for example, n length of n, I can write this also, or I can write this also, and I write this way, right? So line number 28, line number 29 are same. No, line number 28 and line number 29 and 30, all things are same, right? 28 is 1, and this 29 and 30 together is same thing, right? Okay, if this is clear, that means length of one character is 1. If s equal to that one character, then length of one that s is also 1, right? And now let's go back to this. S of 5 is one character, right? Yes. Whenever we are getting index, only the characters we are pulling out, and all those characters are still the strings only, right? And length of this s of 5 is 1. Why? Because this is 2, s of 5 is nothing but 2. So that is what exactly we were doing here, right? If this is the case, this whole thing is the string whose contents is n. So I can also do the same thing now. s2 equal to this. Okay, if I do this, the whole thing is what? It is n. The selected portion is n, correct? The selected portion in this line is nothing but your n. That means s2 value will be n. So hence, length of s2 is 1. Okay, Poonam understand, Jitendra understand. How about others, guys? Anupama, did you understand now? Anupama says, got it, thanks. Okay, great. Okay, anybody has? Vicky also says, Victoria, I hope if I pronounce Vicky, it is okay, right? Okay, thanks, Vicky. Shivasri says, got it, and Ankita. Okay, perfect, guys. Okay, no problem. Let's move on quickly. Now, important thing is, we have been, talking about one string here, and yes is there. Now, indexing we have seen 0, 1, and so on. Indexing also is there, like -1, -2, and so on, right? This is what we have seen till now, right? But there is little more in the indexing as well, right? And that is here, I can also write something like this. Okay, so let me comment this part. Okay, by the way, okay, before I proceed, let me finish this quick stuff, right? This hash in Python works as a comment. Okay, comment means this particular line interpreter won't execute, right? It is like a message I want to give to the to other programmer, or for ourselves, for future understanding that what we are doing. Maybe some text we want to write inside code, and I don't want that text to be executed because this is not executable statement. Okay, so those can be commented out by using hash. The moment it says hash, it will simply ignore whatever is there starting first character after hash to the end of the line. Okay, so this is also hash. Okay, so this is also ignored, and only this this last line will be executed. Now look at this, yes of 0 and 4. When I do this with separating a colon, so it is like a slicing of that particular string. Okay, now when I want to slice a particular string, I just wanted to understand that if I slice a fruit, what is the output? What is the slice portion of it? That is also a fruit only, right? The same fruit, in fact, right? So here, if I slice a string, the output of that will be a string only, right? So that string is how it is given is, that is the first thing is from where I want to start the slicing. That is one is nothing but y, and up to what? Up to 4, but not including 4. Do you remember this statement I spoke yesterday also? Up to but not including, in terms of range function, 1 to 10. This generates a range of sequence of numbers from 1 to 10, but not including 10, right? Okay, let's come back to this. The slicing part means it starts from this index and it will end to 4, but not including 4. At 4th index there is O, but not including O means up to T, up to H it will print, and you get YTH. Okay, and that is what is called slicing. Let me open one slide before I take another example for slicing. Yeah, so look at this. Name is Dr. Reddy, and name of 0, name of 1 we have already understood quite well now, right? Now there is something called slicing. So I want to copy this line. This is important for you guys to just understand that. Oops, why not copied? Okay, now look at this. There is a square bracket, there is a start index, there is an end index, and there is a step size as well, right? There is one more colon I haven't used here, but there is one more index. If I want to use, there is a provision to do that, right? So that means if I do this 1 to 8 colon 1, okay, this gives me, it will start slicing your string. That is, Python is fun. It starts from 1, that means it starts from y up to 8, but not including 8 index. So these are 6, 7, 8. At 8th index there is yes, right? But up to yes, but not including yes means up to y, up to I it will include, right? So that means YTHON space I. This is the portion we pulled out from yes, but yes is still same. Okay, we are not changing yes, but we are getting that much portion of a string from this particular string, right? For example, description equal to, you know, Akash is 30 years old. Okay, this is one example, let's say I have, and now I want to use this description to slice from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 to 11, 12, not including 12 gives me 30, right? Many times, we have to deal with strings, and sometimes we want to slice some portion of a string for some other purpose, right? I will simply do this using age equal to 30, but this is not good, right? Age is supposed to be a number, right? But it shows me string. How can I see that? I can see that it's a string. So what I can do is I can convert integer using this, and I get this integer, right? Or I can also do the same thing here itself, right? Whatever output I'm getting, so that I want to convert it to, what happened, why? Okay, I didn't execute probably, yeah. So this is converted to integer, and age is now 30. Okay, 30 is an integer. So anybody getting lost in this index and slicing? I'm not yet completed, but whatever is done, I hope that is good, right? Yes, Poonam, I'm coming to your point. So what her question was, she's saying that is, sorry. Yeah, she's saying that is yes 1 to 8 and yes 1 to 8 colon 1 is same, right? So you are right. The answer is right. You are right. This is same. But let me come to the logic behind it, right? So there are some default values for all these things, right? So here yes colon, by default it is 1 colon, by default it is length of yes colon. I'll just give little more spaces to for you guys to see it better. And by default, this is 1. Okay, these are the default values. Okay. Yes, Bhupesh, it is same like substring function in SQL. I don't know about MID mid, but substring I know, right? So there is some start index. The default by default is 0. Sorry, 1. No, it is 0 by default. Sorry, right? It starts from 0. It ends up to n. That is length of the string, and there is a step size. There is a step size. I repeat, this is a step size. Okay. So what is the step size we are considering is 1 step, right? Every time it move to 1 step ahead, right? Now let me come back with this string now. Yes of 0 colon 13 colon 2. Now this gives me, it starts from P, ends to N, that is all good, but there is a step 2, that means it won't come to Y, but it will just jump, it will skip 1 and it comes to T, it comes to O, then space, then S, then F, then N. Okay, so that is the step it is moving. Okay, that's the step size. Yes, Tariq, did you get it? I see your question now, but I think I have answered. His question was, if it's give 2, what happens? Is the number what will be the output, right? And I think I have explained before your question, right? Okay, great. So this is how we can jump, we can move on, and we can give some other value. If I don't give anything here, so that means that is okay. By default, it will take 1. Okay, and even if I don't give anything here, right, then here, but I have to give colon here just to differentiate that I'm slicing, right? So this way it gives me the whole string here, right? Or I can start from 3 and I get whole string. Okay, perfect. So I hope this is clear for everyone. Now let me do a little more on this. This is important, guys, but we don't have to whatever is I'm covering, this is a foundation. Later on you can explore, but this much is required, so I'm covering that. Okay, so let me also do that. Let's say 6 colon 2 colon minus 1. This is also possible, right? That means I'm working on a negative indexing. I want to start from 6, that is 0 1 2 3 4 5 6. 6 means a space. I want to start from 6 but end to 2, right? I'm coming in the reverse direction. That means, right, 2 is T, right? And I want to use the step size as a negative number. That means I start from space, I have printed space, then I come one step behind, that is N is printed, then O is printed, and H is printed up to T but not including T. Up to 2 means up to T, right? And that's why we are up to H and we are done here. Okay, being said that this negative step size is also possible, that means S of -1, okay, colon -1 will reverse my whole string. Okay, somebody was talking about it is easy for reversing the string, but more than that, this is much more easier, right? If I remember, I used to write C program for comparing a string, checking a string if a string is palindrome or not, if you guys recall, right? So palindrome strings are like Nitin or dad, right, or Malayalam, right? Do you guys recall this? This is something in college days people used to teach, right? What is palindrome and all, right? So meaning, if you read this string from left to right or right to left, this is the same string, right? And for that we used to write a function and few lines of code. Here it is as good as this. If it is a palindrome string, it will say yes, and if it is not, then it will say no. Okay, it says true here for this Malayalam, right? So And for this, for yes, it says no, because yes is having Python is fun. Where is that? Python is fun. Python is fun is not a palindrome, right? If I read from left to right, and if I read in the reverse direction, this won't be the same, right? So that's how we can get it. 56 line number, yeah, I'll come to this line number again. Line number 56 is, this is a start index, that is 6, meaning this is the space. And step size, it reverses the order when we have step size negative index. Okay, so the negative index means I have to come in the reverse direction, right? Positive index means in the forward direction, it will jump from P to Y to H to H and H and O and N and so on. The moment I have 2, positive 2, it will move in the forward direction but skipping one character, that P, then T and O and space and so on. And if I have a negative indexing, that negative -1 means it will come one step behind in the reverse direction every time, right? That 6 of 6, 2 and -1. This gives you you know how this in the reverse direction we are moving, right? 6 means 6 is space here, and after space N, O and H. This is how this much portion it is sliced, and that is reverted, that is reversed. Is that fine, Poonam? And how about others? Did you guys got this thing? Let's move on to next. Okay, Poonam didn't understand it. Line number 56. Okay, Ankita understood. So Ankita has to explain to Poonam now. I will unmute Ankita. Is it okay, Ankita, for you to explain? Poonam is struggling to understand that part. Ankita, if you would like to explain, you have to unmute yourself. I have unmuted you. So Ankita didn't understand, Poonam didn't understand line number 56. And Vamsi also has some question in line number 56, and that is, if you remove the negative index, what happens? If I remove negative index, nothing happens in my end, here in this, with this syntax, because we start from 6 and we are ending at 2, but there is no 2, right? From 6 onwards, if we go in the forward direction, right? So I can simply remove this, and I see nothing is printed. Is that answered, Vamshi? Okay, who can explain Poonam? Line number 6, now it became 61 for her line number, okay? Line number 61, who will explain line number 61 for Poonam? Nobody? Unmute everyone, guys. Okay, whoever wants to volunteer,
Yep.
come up. Yes, Abhidip.
So it
Would you
will,
like
yeah. So it will start from the 6th position. Okay. And in the reverse order, it will print that thing. So it will start from 6 to 2. So 1, 2, yep. So
the
it,
selected portion,
yeah,
right?
yeah, H1, yeah. So it will start from, and 6th position. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So n is on that position, and it will start from that position. It will go still to the first position, third position. It will not include the second one, but as we give the -1 there, so it will go on the reverse order. That's the reason it will print the NOH.
Okay, the last line is important, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so
-1.
correct. So what Abhidip is saying is, because of -1, it is coming in the reverse direction from a position that is a start index, right? This is a start index. 6 is a start index. So from start index, it is coming in the negative direction because of this -1, right? The step size is -1. Step size is +1, means in the forward direction, one step at a time, right? If it is negative, means one step in the reverse direction, one step at a time. Poonam? Poonam, did you understand? Even if not, I hope this is now a little more clear. Vidit has given. Okay, if we say two, it means only two strings, right? No, two means up to second index. Let's go back here. This is the start index and this is the stop index. Up to that index, not number of characters there, right? Okay, this is important to understand that what is this syntax all about, right? Line number 62 is what your question is there, and your yes, this is coming, and now I have this. Okay, look at this. This is a start index and this is the end index. I am starting from 6 and ending at this index, not number of characters. Okay, perfect. So Poonam says she got it now. Anybody has any other question? Because I want to move on to the next data structure that is called list. Okay, this is something we have understand, and now I want to write something called list here, right? This is a very important data structure which we are going to talk today, and then we will understand a little bit more about how we can do more things with not only one. Okay, one part I missed, guys, for the strings. Let me cover this quickly. Now, this is this is yes, and since we have studied for loop like this, 5 print I. Okay, this is pretty much we can do. Why it is printing on every line? Again, there is one more thing we can do is end equal to I just want to give space. I can do that also. I'll come to this. What does this mean and how to get that function help? So look at this. If I press shift tab, I get to know the function help here, and by default end means every print statement ends with /n. That's why it was printing on each line, right? So I just override this particular argument to make the difference. But hold on, if you don't understand, I will come to that when we talk about functions, mostly today only. If not, then the next session. Yeah, so this is what we have seen till now, right? Now let me see. Let me also say that check that there is something. If I do something like this, what happens? Okay, look at this range is providing me the numbers starting from 0 up to 5 but not including 5, means 0 1 2 3 4 it gives. In every iteration in for loop, I value is 0 for first iteration. It execute the whole loop, then it can go back up here, then its value becomes 1, and then it complete this block here, then it goes up, its value becomes 2, and so on, right? Here in this case, Python is a string and string is iterable object. I spoke about this, right, where I can move on with every item in this particular string, right? So if it is iterable object, our for loop can iterate over that object, right? Let me just go back to our definition of for loop, which we discussed. Right here we see that it repeats the set of statements over a group of values. Okay, meaning the group of values in this case is 0 to 5 not including 5, right? So it is iterating over, and a group of values here is, this is a iterable object consisting of python. Okay, so that gives me this kind of output. Right here I can also do this I can just do whatever I want to. Okay, so I'm just putting this colon just for making a little difference of still I want to print on the same line, but I just want to differentiate each character with something. Okay, so is that clear? Any confusion here? Okay, so let's move on. This is also same thing. Okay, list. Okay, list is for those who have some background of C programming, list is similar to arrays in C, right? But there is a major difference in C arrays are homogeneous, meaning array of string, array of character or array of integer. This is what we have seen, right? But in Python, so it is a collection of different data types, right? It can have a heterogeneous collection or arbitrary data it holds, and it looks like this. Okay, my list equal to, this is a square bracket. I can write here, and I can also have Akash. I can also have New York. I can also have 23. I can also have John. So that means with or without space doesn't matter, right? Here, this is a collection. Not only that, I can also have 12.56. Okay, so this is the list of it's a collection of objects, different objects, right? Akash is a string object, 45 is a integer object, 12.56 is a float object, right? John is a string object, 23 is a numeric, means integer object, 1 is integer object, and so on. And if you look at this, my list is sorry, what happened here? Yeah, list T is missing. Okay, my list is of type list. Okay, for that matter, I can also have any name for in case if I want to. Okay, type of details, it gives me a list. Okay, so it is a heterogeneous, it's a collection of heterogeneous data. So more than C, it holds the arbitrary data, right? It's a collection of heterogeneous data, and it can be indexed, it can be parsed, it can be sliced, it is iterable. So I'm going to talk about these points now. Okay, is this equivalent to array of data in C++? Yes, Tariq, it is equivalent, but it is much more than what array does in C++. In C++, if I have array of data, means I have to be very specific that is it an array of integer, or is it an array of strings, or is it an array of characters, right? But here it is not the case, because if I have array of integers in C++, I need to have all the integers in that particular array. I can't hold any other data structure. But this is much obvious and much flexible for us to have any data structure inside a list, right? That is what is called arbitrary collection of different objects, or heterogeneous collection, I would say, right? So this looks like this. If I print details, it shows me the list. Now list is also indexed. When I say indexed, I can also access this 0, and I see that 1 is printed here. And if I access this 3, what is the output, guys? Quickly, can somebody tell me? It's obvious, so I'm asking before I answer. I want to hear from you guys. New York, Abhideep, Anupama, perfect, guys. Okay, so that's right. So we can see that this prints New York here, right? So that means indexing happens over list also. Okay, yes, Vamshi, perfect. Right. So now what if I do something like this? Now this New York is replaced by Montreal, right? Perfect, right? So that means we can also change the elements in the list. Okay, now there is a little difference. That difference I'm trying to point out now, highlight here for you guys. No audio, how come? Sachin, how about others, guys? My audio, I hope it is clear and loud. Sachin is, Abhideep says good, yes. Sachin, now okay, got Sachin, got it. And other people responded that they are good with the audio. Okay, guys. Yeah, so the only one point I'm trying to highlight is let me just go back with the basic example. Python is fun. Okay, it's really fun. Okay, now s of 2 is equal to sorry, it is t. Now if I try to do the same thing the way I was doing for list, I want to replace this t with capital T, it won't allow me to do that, right? So why? Because t oh, sorry, I want to do this. Okay, there is a different error I'm expecting. Yeah, so if I try to replace this t with capital T, it won't allow, because strings are, immutable in nature, meaning I can't change one of the characters like this. Okay, so that behavior is called immutable data structure or immutable object. So strings are immutable, but list is mutable in nature. Okay, that's why I could replace one of the element, that is New York is replaced by Montreal here, right? So I hope that is clear what is mutable and immutable. Okay, just put in the Google. I will refer you with Python documentation, right? It is a, sorry, yeah, this is a fantastic documentation, guys. This is a Python docs.python.org. It's the official site of Python, where I find you guys will find a very very good documentation here. You can search anything if you want. You will get a very good explanation with examples for everything what you guys probably want to understand, right? So there are a lot of things, I don't know, like if you go through this theory part, so you will definitely see a lot of syntax along with the examples. So this is a very good documentation. You can definitely refer some books. I may help you with some book names, books going forward. Today only I have to let me do now itself. Yeah, Learning Python by let me open this, Mark Lutz. Okay, so this is a very nice book I find. So it is freely available. You guys can just do this in Google, Learning Python by Mark Lutz, free ebook, right? So it's simply you can download that and you just go through this. Make a note of it quickly if you guys are. You can just download. I would have put there, but it is little. Size is bigger, right? So maybe I could not post there. But you guys can get it online. Okay. So this is another documentation. If at all you want to read, this will help you. Okay, so I was making a point that strings are immutable, but lists are not immutable, right? That means these are mutable in nature, right? So list I can see this way, and now I can also see that Akash is printed if I do this, right? Now what if I do something like this, guys? Anybody quickly, what it will do? What happens here? Tariq says K, it will print K. Vamsi says K. Jitendra says K will be printed. Fantastic, right? And that's right, guys. Okay. Why it will print K? Because details 2 is Akash, and Akash on top of it, I'm doing this, means this will be applied on Akash, and Akash will be, Akash 2 is mutable object, iterable object, that is string, and it will iterate over this on the second index. That second index is K, right? But if I do the same thing with, let's say, 1, right, it will give error, because details 1 is a number, right? That is a integer. I can't iterate over integer, and that's why it is saying that integer is not subscriptable, right? That means it won't hold such indexes for the data there, right? So I hope this is clear. Line number 89, important. For those who don't understand, please raise your hand. Otherwise, I assume that many of you have answered correctly. So you got this point. Okay. Now, let me also explain you a quick stuff, important one. This is at 0th index. This is at first index. This whole thing is at second index. This whole thing is at third index. This is fourth in the index. And this is fifth index. And sixth index. Being said that, there is a negative indexing we already experienced, so obviously it should be there here as well, right? And it is there. So you guys can do this, and you can definitely enjoy the benefit of this negative indexing at many times, right? Because I really don't have to count 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 if I want to access the last element, right? Or I don't want to use length function. Instead I can simply do -1 and I get it, right? So this is what it is available. Now what do you think? Is there slicing? Obviously it should be, right? 1:4. What is the output? Quickly. Yes, guys, I don't see any answer. Okay, I got one answer from Tariq. Okay, I got many answers now. 145 Akash, Montreal, Tariq. No, I think it won't come with 1. The reason is I'm starting from 1 means the 0th index is not considered, Tariq. Poonam, you're right. Yeah, Abhideep, 1 and Montreal. Why Akash is not printed, Abhideep? Anupama, you're right. Harshit says 45 to Montreal. You are right, including Montreal, Harshit. And Danish says 45 to Montreal, including Montreal, Danish. Abhideep till Montreal, you are right, including Montreal. Perfect, guys. Okay. So you guys are right. And we see that 45, Akash, and Montreal. And this is printed as a list. Slice of an apple is apple only, right? Slice of a string is string. Slice of a list is a list. Okay guys, so let's take a quick break. I forgot, keep me reminding, guys. 8 o'clock we should have break for 10 minutes, and another break at 9 o'clock. So let's take a quick break. I will be back in 10 minutes, and we will continue with another data structure, that is dictionary, right? Dict. So this is another important data structure. And I no, before that I have to check this functions. Okay, there are some functions we will talk right after the break. Okay, so if you guys have any question, feel free to post here during the break. Once I'm back, we will discuss and continue further. Okay guys, thanks. I'm going on mute, and I'll be back in 10 minutes. Hello guys, I'm back. Okay, one more important thing we were talking about is, I hope I can start now, right? You guys are ready? Here there are some functions, some attributes every object has. So similarly, the details is a list object, and list has some functionality the way we have seen some of the functionality of string class, right? String object, right? So here what it means is, let's say I have this details, and details dot append will help me to add one more some number, let's say mobile number I want to add, and this is what it is doing, right? With the help of this append function, I can add one more element to the existing list, right? So that way I can just use one function here. There are other functions like copy, count, clear, extend, index, insert. So I want you guys to come up with in the next session about these two functions, what extend does and what it insert does. Okay, so this is a homework here for you guys. Okay, explain, extend, and insert function of list. Okay, so you guys have to do this. If you struggle to get the answer, if you don't understand, I will definitely help you next in the next class. What if I want to append between 1 to 1 and 45? You will get the answer, Poonam. Insert is the function for that as part of your homework. You will get what Poonam was asking is, what if I want to append, not append, in fact I want to insert something in between this 1 and 45. So obviously, by looking at the function, it seems like insert is the best fit there. You try use the insert function the way I did here for append. Since I used multiple time, I could directly write this here, but you should know what to write in the as part of this argument to this function, right? So here we see that there is an object we have to pass. So similarly, you have to understand what insert does and how insert does to insert something between 1 and 45, right? That's your homework. So just do this extend and insert function. It's not a big deal, and you will have to explain me what insert does, what extend does, and append is anyway you understood now, right? So this is about list. Now to summarize quickly, two things. List is iterable, indexed, and what? Mutable. And string is iterable, indexed, and immutable data structure. Okay, so these are the two things we have seen. Now I want to see the next thing, that is something called tuple. Okay, tuple or tuple, whatever you guys want to pronounce. This is another data structure very similar to list. I'm going to discuss about that. Now there is one question from Poonam. If you can explain details to again, because I see detail 2 equal to Akash and Akash 2 equal to Poonam. I see your question, but I'm a little bit confused with the last statement. What is the actual question? Suppose I have this I have this details. Okay, details 2 is Akash. Details 2 is Akash. Oh, sorry. Okay, details 2 is Akash, and let's say yes, our name equal to, can I write something like this? Yes, I can, right? What is name? Name is string. Can I write name of 2? Yes, I can. What is name? Name is Akash. What is name of 2? Name of 2 is K. If I can do all these things, can I write this once again and append one more 2, which gives me K? So this name 2 means Akash 2. Akash 2 is K, and details 2 of 2 is also K, right? And if you want to check this Akash of 2, there is nothing like this. Akash of 2, I can't do that. What is Akash, right? Akash is a string. If at all you want to do this, you have to work this way, okay? But this is not a good practice to directly apply on the string. But I want to store that string in some name, some variable that is name. Now name of 2 gives me K, okay? It is not Akash of 2. Or the same thing is happening here in the single statement, where details of 2 is Akash, and Akash's 2 is actually this way, and that gives me 2 K, and this line number 105 is also K. Is this clear, Poonam? Okay, great. So you guys need little practice, and you have 1 week. Just do a little bit there, and it will be very much comfortable for you guys. Okay. Now let me go back with our basic thing. There is something called tuple. I was talking, or tuple. I pronounce tuple, right? But few people tuple, or whatever you guys want to say, right? This is also iterable. This is also indexed, and this is immutable in nature, right? That is the only difference. Otherwise it is exactly same as list, right? Tuple is exactly same as list. The only difference is, let's say I have t1 equal to, okay, the way we write is round bracket. Okay, in round bracket I would like to write the whole thing again, and I would like to see the difference, right? Oh, sorry, I don't have to have this square bracket here. And I see that t1 of 2 gives, or 2, yeah, this gives me Akash. Again of 2 gives me K, right? This is as simple what we have seen right now, right? So that means I can iterate over each element. I can pull out anything out of it. So what is the difference? The only difference is, like we did this earlier, that 0 1 2 3, 3 means Montreal, equal to, if I do something now, the same thing I want to do back, back this Montreal I wanted to replace with New York, I can't do that because it won't support, tuple does not support the item assignment. That means it is similar to string behavior, right? In string also I could not replace, let's say, K with capital K. Similarly in tuple I can't do that kind of operation, right? So that makes it a constant, like a data structure, right? Where this is a fixed one. I can't change any of the element in this, right? And otherwise it is absolutely same as list. This is the only difference, and that makes this function to not this particular data structure to not have append and insert functionality, right? It doesn't have, because obviously insert and append is actually doing this at modifying this particular data structure, right? So since that is the case, this is like a constant, so it don't have those functions, right? It is like a fixed data structure. The Sachin's question is, can we change integer to string in tuple? Answer is no, Sachin. Changing integer to a string is ultimately you are doing the same thing, right? You are changing something. Let's say 45, I want to change it by 45 with single quote. That is also not possible, right? But yes, you can pull out 45 and convert it to string and use it in your program, but you can't have put back to the tuple saying that this should be now string going forward, right? That is not possible. But same thing is possible in list is highly used. Yes, in list it is possible, Sachin, right? In list, how we can do is, I can simply show you here, right? Details of 45 is there. Oh, sorry, not this one, right? Equal to, I can simply do this. This will overwrite, and now your details will have 45 as a string. Earlier it was a numeric one. right? Or there are other mechanisms to convert those data structures using this some functions here, right? Int of, or here also you could do the same thing, right? Int of details of 1, right? And you are assigning back to details, right? But let's not go to that now. You can do practice later on. In list, can we do details to equal to u? Now this is question for you, Poonam. You have to think and tell me. It is a question from Poonam only. Now Poonam is going to answer. What do you think? Just think a little bit. I'm sure you will get the answer by yourself. Meanwhile, if other people have the answer, please let me know. Yes, this is the question. What is the answer? I'm looking for other guys' answer from other guys. Sachin, you have said K, but is it the answer? The question is different. In list, can we do details to equal to u? The answer would be yes, no, or error, or something else, whatever it is, right? Okay, I get answer from Tariq. It is error. Harshit says no. Abhideep says no. Vamsi says no. Sachin says error. Abhideep says giving some reason why it is no. Bhupesh says no. Abhideep, string is immutable. Harshit, you are right. So Anupama says yes. Why Anupama? Did you understand what people are saying? People are saying no, 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 no. Somebody says yes. Sorry, somebody says error. Somebody says it is immutable, so we can't access. So what is immutable? So let's go back and understand what happens here, right? So here, this is K. Okay, and now I'm trying to assign something to this K. I want to replace, but K is part of a string, right? So string can't be changed because string is immutable, like Vamsi said, right? And like many people says that this is not possible. Yes, Poonam, your guess is now confirmed. You're guessing that there is error. Now everybody is saying error, and yes, that is true. It gives you error if you try. Okay, it gives you error because you can't assign something to a string. Okay, so this is part of your little bit of hands-on, guys. So you will do it and you will get this get the answers to yourself. Okay, okay, so I'll just keep it here for you guys for references. Okay, Anupama says she was confused and now she understood. Perfect. Okay, okay, let me move on. So tuple and list. List is widely used, extensively used. Tuple is rarely used because this is there are two things. One is the advantage of using tuple. At times this is much more faster because this is like a constant data, and if I have, let's say, Excel sheet with some details, so header probably I don't want to change ever, right? Suppose that is the case. Suppose the PAN number, I have list of all the people who is holding this PAN number. For those people who don't know PAN, this is the unique identification number for every citizen of India, right? Those who okay, I don't go in the detail, but just it is like a unique number. In US they have something, right? So that number, that kind of database, if I have, I can hold the data of many people, and whose header is constant probably. I don't want to change anytime, so that kind of header we can put in tuple, but rest of the data I should put in list, because this data needs to be updated. For example, mobile number may be updated, email address may be updated, or somebody change the name, so later on we might have to do some updates there, right? So, or for that matter, the employee records, if I have many people, many employees, and they are, just a moment. Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. Please zoom the screen. Poonam is asking to zoom the screen. Okay. Yeah, it is. Okay, I think this much should be enough because I want to cover many things on the single string, single screen. If I zoom further, it will. Is it not visible, guys? I think um, this is okay, right, Poonam? Yeah, visible, and see everybody says okay. Okay, cool. So okay, let's move on. So tuple is, yeah, I was talking about, let's say, employee records I have, and some of the fixed, uh, information we can keep it. If it is the case, then I can use tuple. Otherwise, mostly the list is used because many times you want to update the information, and that is required. Okay. Now the next important data structure is dict. Okay, dict is a dictionary, right? The word came from an English dictionary, or any dictionary where we have we how to find, if I want to find some meaning of a particular word, right? So how we find is using a key. That word is a key, and the meaning of that word is a value. That this is a pair of two things put together, right? Let me just write down this mm, one thing here. It is list is written this way. Okay, there is no space, but I'm just giving the space here for you guys to understand. Just yeah. Yes, Abhidip, sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, tuple is here I write this bracket. Okay, there is no space. I'm just giving space to have a better visibility. That's the reason. And now dict, how to write dictionary is using curly braces. Okay, so these are the three data structures we will be using. They are there in Python, and we will talk about this here. Yes. Yes, sorry. Yeah, so now the dictionary, now let's say I want to have similar details now, and suppose I want to do this way. Akash, age, colon, let's say 27, right? And now look at this type here. This is a dictionary type, okay? And now if I print this is a different way it is printing now, right? And surprisingly, I can see age first and name later on, right? But doesn't matter, right? Okay, so the reason is this is not indexed data structure, by the way, right? There is no indexing. I can't do details of 0. Okay, details of 0 is not a valid thing here, right? Because this is a dictionary, and dictionary is not indexed. So how to access? Any guess, guys? Any guess how to access name here? Pretty much obvious, and a lot of people, you might have heard about, there is something called JSON, right? Key value, Harshit says, yes, it is key value pairs. So this is a key and this is a value, this is a key, this is a value. How to access the value using key is we have to give the key name, right? It is like a bag of some toys, or you know, it is like a bag, right? Where you know, we have, let's say I have so many things in a bag or a box, where I have, suppose you know, toys for a kid, right? If I say car, so a car will be picked from the box, right? If I say doll, doll will be picked from a box. If I say candy, probably a candy will be picked, right? So that candy or a car, these are all lookup tags, right? Where I can look into that box with the help of these tags. And actually, when I pick the car, that physical object is nothing but a object which we are storing. In this case, name is a key. If I do this, it will give me Akash. And if I do this, age, it give me 27, right? So now this is a lookup tag. Okay. Suppose I have, you know, I have one bag here, ladies bag, let's say purse. Okay. And now I have so many things inside the bag. Let's say I have cards, right? I have cards. Let's say I have 3 cards, okay, of different bank, debit cards or credit cards. I have cash in the bag, okay, and let's say cash is, you know, let's say 2000 Indian rupees. And let's say I have, what else I can have? I can have candies, right? This is a purse with lot of detail, lot of info, lot of, you know, items in it, right? So candies, let's say 20. Okay. So here, you know, this is what I can see, that these are the details in this bag, let's say. And now I want to pick something. Let's say I want to pick the cash, how much cash is there, right? That purse is the name of this data structure. Let's say I will write this way, purse. Sorry, with for my handwriting, I lost one tool. This is not much. Yeah, sorry, spelling also gone, right? First it is yes, and then it is E. And in this, if I do write this card, right, it will give me 3, and so on, right? So I will explain this. Maybe I'll type better way. This is uh, not so good. Yeah, here. Okay, let's say I have ladies purse, and here, sorry, this is a dictionary. Here, let's say, cash, I have, let's say, 2,500, candies equal to, let's say, 2, and cards equal to, let's say, 3, and so on. Okay. So now, this is how it looks like. And when I have, when I want to pull something, it is the lookup tag given now, right? I can get the cards, and this is how I have to write. And since it's a string, I need to put here, right? The 3 is what I get. Okay. This is what the dictionary is. In dict, key value needs to be a, wait, I'm reading a question, guys. Poonam says in dict, key value needs to be a string always, only. No, I'm coming to these points. Just hold on. So I'm not completed dictionary. There are few points I want to make. These are important points. First thing, I'm just trying to say that, this is how the dictionary looks like, and this is how we access. And not only that, I can also update the dictionary this way, right? Meaning now cards became 5, right? That means uh, dictionary is mutable in nature. Can we say that? Yes, we can, right? So dictionary is mutable and dictionary is iterable. I will see how, I will show you later on how to iterate over. And dictionary is not indexed, but it is accessed using keys, right? Key and value pairs are stored, right? It is like a hash map, if anybody knows about that. Okay. So now, let's say I have, I want to update this little bit more. Let's say ladies purse with cards, whatever is there. Here, I want to put a list of let's say, or I will go for, banks or different bank or different types of cards, right? Visa card 1, comma, Amex 2, right? These are total 3 cards, let's say. And now if you see, there is a dictionary inside a dictionary as well. I'm not touching the keys as of now, but I'm just trying to show you how my value would be. Not necessarily I should have only the numbers. I can also have a dictionary inside a dictionary, right? There is one question from Tariq, why the output is different than how we have entered. Okay, Tariq, as I said, this output is displayed in some order, maybe based on the, sorting on the keys, but that doesn't matter literally, right? Because in memory, it won't store this way, and it doesn't matter for us because always we are going to pull the data with the help of key. Whether it is printed in this order or in any other order doesn't matter for us, and neither it matters to the system because we are pulling any element with the same complexity, time complexity. Okay, so that doesn't matter. Is that fine? Okay. So yeah, so now there are important points, what keys should be and what values should be. The one important thing is value can be anything. Okay, it can be string, it can be integer, it can be a floating point value, it can be a list, or it can be tuple, or it can be a dictionary itself, right? So in dictionary, value can be anything, but for key there is some restriction. Okay, uh, just another 30-second, guys. Today there is little disturbance, nobody at home, and I have to open the door, sorry. Just a second, 30 seconds. Yes. So yeah, this is the in PPT I have nicely explained you guys here. Yeah. Okay, look at this. Dictionary holds the items in the random order. It is hash map. This is unordered collection. Though it displays, Jupyter Notebook displays that in some order, but it doesn't matter, right? In memory, there is no order. While accessing, there is no order. And there is no difference if you put in any order. Okay, now key has to be immutable and unique. Okay, that's important. When I say immutable means it is string, number means integer, float, and tuple also can be a key. Okay, so nobody generally keep tuple as a key, but it is possible, right? We can have, let's say, 2 parameters are important to check something. Let's say in a company, I might have multiple people with the same name. Okay, same first name. So in that case, I can probably have name along with that department and some identification number or maybe something else. So that kind of tuple I can form and I can retrieve some information if I want, right? So key can be tuple as well because tuple is immutable. We have seen that, right? String is immutable, number is immutable. So that is these are the only 3 data structures we see as a key. Okay, and value can be anything. Okay, so these keys are nothing but a lookup tag, and we don't have to index it. We can just use this lookup tag to pull out any object from the dictionary. Dictionary can be anything. Dictionary is mutable and dynamic in nature. There is no order, so it is mutable, it is iterable. Let me come and do some more operations here, right? So is this clear? Any confusion? I will do one more thing here. Okay, I have changed it, and I can see that I know this is what it shows now. Okay, now how can I access 2? Can you guys help me quickly? Vamsi says clear. Okay, perfect. Yes, I'm looking for answer now. I want to access 2 quickly, guys. Nobody? Come on. Jitendra has tried, but I think that is not the right answer, Jitendra. Yeah, Abhidip, I think your answer is right. Harshit says cards, Amex, you're right, Harshit, as well. Ladies purse, here I use cards. This gives me another dictionary. So how to access this dictionaries too is using Amex, right? So now if I store this somewhere else, I can put another key like this, right? A lookup tag. So here itself I can do that. Okay, and I get 2 here. Is that clear? Yes, Anupama, your answer is correct as well, right? Perfect. So how can I access W? If I do this, it works. Yes, Vamsi, you're right. Perfect. So you guys understand. So Vamsi has given this line number 37, and that's also right. Perfect. So yeah, this is about how we access, how we can have, you know, a few more things here. Now let me also do a little bit of changes again. In Visa, I have, let's say, I have 2 banks here. Let's say these are banks in banks who provide the cards, ICICI and let's say HDFC. Okay, and now my data structure, that dictionary has, you know, these things. Okay, just forget about this. Now this is also possible, meaning I can have a list inside a dictionary inside a list inside a dictionary, so a dictionary inside a dictionary. So all possible combinations we can do. Okay, how to differentiate between the key and value? That is what Poonam is asking. So where is the challenge, Poonam? Keys are pretty straightforward, right? The something which we use behind before this colon is a key. So the syntax is like this, right? Key colon value, right? That's how it is stored, right? That's how we maintain. Now you look at this. I'll just comment out this here. Okay. Now look at this data structure. Now this purse is having candies and cash. These are 2 elements or items, right? We call it items as a items in dictionary and elements in list, right? It doesn't matter. It's just I'm calling this way. Okay. Now cards has a dictionary, and inside the dictionary Visa is a key, and against that key there is a list. So how to access this D? Yes, guys, quickly. How to access this D? Okay, Vamsi, first this one and cards, and then Visa. This gives me this one and 1 and 1. Sorry. And this is how you get it, right? Now I can also, if I want to change the name of the bank from capital to small, right? Let's say this one I wanted to do, and it is done, right? And that is also possible. Okay. Oh, sorry. I wanted to change this actually. In fact, I wanted to change the 0. But anyway, you understand this, right? So that's how we can do. This is how we can play with the dictionary. We can convert your lot of data these days. As a data scientist, we should be very much comfortable with with the dictionary and list. These are the primary or the basic data structures which is used in Python. Okay. I want to iterate over these data structures quickly. It will take another 10 minutes of our practice. Then we can move on to the next topic. So before that, can we take another break, guys? Another 10 minutes break. So we will continue at 9:15, and then we will continue with how to iterate and how to see how these values can be used, along with a couple of examples I want to show you guys to do some hands-on. Okay, I'm just doing this here. Split is something I wanted to show you guys. Then then iterate. Looping. I will use the loops there with this data structure. So this is what we will do right after the break. And then I want to move on to one more new topic. Mostly maybe we will work with some functions today, or yeah, maybe the good idea is to start with functions right after the session, after the break. Okay. Okay, guys, then see you in some time, in 10 minutes. And if you have any question, keep posted. Okay, I'm back, guys. I think we can start, right? Yeah, so there are a couple of things I just wanted to also uh, mention. We have already seen that there is something called string, and yes, we can also slice this string, and you know 2 to 5 we get something like this, right? But also we can split the string, right? We didn't see this function. There are many functions, in fact you guys have to explore those, but this is something commonly used, so I just thought to check, help you understand this, that there is something called split. The moment we do that, by default, with the help of this spaces, it splits each word from the string to the each element of the string list. It converts the your the output of this whole thing will be a list of all the words inside the string. The original yes is still a yes, there's no change in the original yes, but the output of this is the new yes will be put like this. Okay, so this is how this new yes will look like. Okay, so meaning that I can simply do this also to pull out, yeah, sorry, fun from this, or maybe info equal to age of Akash as on today is 28 years, right? Something like this. Okay, so simply info dot split and -2 will give me 28 years, right? I can simply make this change, and I'll age equal to, I can simply assign, and sorry, and I get age here, right? So 28 in the integer format. So we can flexibly do a lot of things with the string, with this all the data structures, if you know well, if you understand the basics of this, and mostly in our yesterday and today's session we focused mostly on the basics only, right? Where how to use a built-in function, how to use an object function. Split is an object function of string, and append is an object function of list, and so on, right? So we have understood that basic things, right? Split question is from Raghav. Split always delimits with space. Yes, Raghav, it delimits by default with the space, but if you want to have some more additional stuff, you can simply use the separator equal to something else, right? And that will help you to separate from something else as well. For example, Akash, Akash is, or I would say, Akash 28, Mohan, oops, not something like this. Yeah, I can keep this here. I can Mohan here, equal to Mohan is, let's say, 27. There's no space. This is Excel data, this is CSV data, it could be anything, right? And we should understand well with every type of data, and we should have some basic tools to deal with, right? And let's say 28 again, and I have this kind of a string, let's say. Okay, and obviously I can have anything, and if I do this split, and suppose there is no space, in fact I forgot here, and if I do split, nothing happens, right? The whole thing is splitted as a one element, right? But I want to split based on let's say colon, and that is possible. The moment I do this, this is how it looks like, right? Again, this is not a good thing, but what I can do is, in fact, suppose I have this kind of data structure, so this will be splitted. Yeah, even this is not so good, but this point is, this is how we can do split based on some other delimiter, okay, or a separator, right? Or for that matter, you can just use sep equal to, and that is the same thing. Okay, just for now you can ignore, because this is the very first argument, so definitely this is a positional argument, which we will be talking later on about what are different types of arguments and all. We will see that. Okay, the ultimate aim of this exercise was to explain you guys about how split works and how the split will give you the splitted form of the string based on some delimiter. By default it is space, and you can have this each element, each word, or some portion of the string out of your original string. It is again a part of kind of a substring, but slicing is different. It works on the indexes, and split is different. It works on some delimiter and it splits the whole string, right? Just imagine that if this is a string of a huge data, so in that case split is mostly commonly used. Okay, now I want to do one hands-on exercise along with our if, else, or for loop. We have done everything we learned, so I would like to try and try to give you guys a little overview about how we can um, do this. Maybe I'll cover the functions first. Then today we have time to cover functions, and once we cover function, this example, we will close the session with this. Okay. Before that, let me also do that. There is a dictionary we have already seen. This is a dictionary, and now if I want to iterate over dictionary, so have I covered how to iterate over list? Can someone quickly say yes, no? How to iterate over list? I forgot. It must be today only. I have to go back and check. Have we seen how to iterate over list? Yes, guys. We have seen how to iterate over string. Yes, Abhidip, you are right. But have I done this here in the class today? Whatever you said is right. This is how we can iterate without the square bracket, by the way. But I want to just check if we got how to iterate over string is done, but I think list is not done. Why you guys are not saying? Abhidip says, yeah, Abhidip, your answer is right. Vamsi, you don't have to use a square bracket in your, in your syntax what you showed, right? And Abhidip, yeah, yours is right. Okay, maybe I have done this. Quickly, we will do this for everything. Now, let's say, yeah, I'll do this way. For for C in, sorry, for C in Python, print C. Okay, and equal to space. Okay, this is how we do for string. For element in list here, Akash 25 and 12,500 salary, let's say. Okay, so here print element and with and equal to, I give a space only here also, right? This is how it does. For item in a dictionary, name colon Akash, age colon 26. Okay, I can also do print atom and with and equal to space. What do you think? What do you see out of these all three data structures? Okay, I want to also show you guys about one more thing for e in for okay, element in this is the tuple 12 John and maybe engineer. Okay, here I do print ele with some spaces. Okay, what do you see out of these 4 lines? Okay, a few of you guys have already told about list, how to iterate over, or now I have 4 things together for your eyes, for you to get a comfort here. So here Python, we are iterating over this string, and I can see that this p, y, t, h, and each element of this, this is a iterable object. This is also iterable object, that is list. This is also iterable object, that is tuple, and this is also a iterable object, that is dictionary, right? So we have already seen that, and instead of this we can also do something like this. Okay, so let's not make complicated things here. I will just make here. Okay, okay, this line number 171 and line number 170 both are exactly same thing, guys, right? Just that I'm using one extra variable to store this data structure, this dictionary, and I'm using it, but this and this is same. So the same thing we can apply for each of these lines. Okay, is there any confusion out of this line number 165, 168, 169, 170, and 171? Do I need to spend some time here, or I can move on, guys? Quickly, can somebody tell me what is not clear out of these lines? Whatever is visible on the screen? Sorry, Ganesh, I have to leave something here. Okay, no problem, Vaishnavi. That's okay. And please go through the recording of another half an hour, and that should be fine. Okay. Thanks. And yeah, many of you guys are saying clear dictionary. We just got key. I will come to Abhidip. I'll come to that, Abhidip. I will explain you why we got on the key. So that part I'm taking it forward. Anupama says clear, Sachin clear. How to print value of dictionary, Raghav. Yes, Raghav, your question and Abhidip, you guys are together. I will come to that point. Okay. Okay. In fact, I should ask this question: how to print value of a dictionary? Here I got only name and age. Abhidip, you are also having same question. You both guys have exactly similar question, right? Yes. Okay. It's printing just key. Yes, Raghav, sure. Abhidip, sure. Vamsi, clear. So it is almost pretty much clear for everybody except couple of guys. They are saying that how we got only keys here. And the second question is how to get the values. Can somebody tell me how to get value? Yeah, Raghav, you yourself answered. So D of item will give you the value here, right? Let me write down here. Key and value together. This will give you key and value, right? Name Akash, age 26. You got this, right? So is that clear, Abhidip, for you? So Raghav has answered his own question. Okay, Abhidip also understood. Okay, perfect, guys. Okay, now let me give you a little more understanding about the dictionary, since we will use it, but rest of the things are clear, right? And definitely we will be working out with this multiple times. So one observation is, one observation is we see that this by default it iterates over keys. Okay, and if at all I want to iterate over values, right, instead of accessing accessing keys and values this way, many times I'm not interested in values, but I want to get I'm not interested in keys, but I want to get values, right? So there is a function that is the built-in function, sorry, the dictionary function, which returns only the values. Right now, if I print this will give me Akash and 26. So this gives by default keys, meaning we iterate over dictionary by default as a key, and this is where we get the values. Okay, just a minute. Yeah, the one observation is it iterates over the dictionary by default on the keys, okay? And if I want values, I can do that, or I can also do, keys and values together, okay? So I can have these two variables here, key, whatever name you want to give, key value, and you can also have, there is something called items, okay? And here, if you run this, if you use this commands, key and value, you get all the things together, right? Name Akash and age 26. So all these things are possible with the dictionary. I have just showed you the possibilities. So let's not go to that depth. If you did not understand few things, if you are worried that, okay, how to remember all these functions and all, just hold on, no worries. As long as you understand these basic things, it's okay to move on. At the moment we see some do some hands-on with our real data science related stuff, that time you will get a little more comfortable with this things, okay? Since it's new, at first sight you should at least understand these 4-5 lines what is available right now on the screen. Okay, so let me move on to the next topic, that is called functions, right? And that's important. I just wanted to show you that there is something called function in in all programming languages, right? So we use functions to avoid the repetition of the code in when we write. Set is, we can hold on for now. We don't want to cover everything today. As and when we require going forward, we will cover a few topics, right? Otherwise it takes at least 40 hours to cover only Python, okay? So I'm covering most of the important things which we need, and that's why we have to skip few topics, but definitely when it comes, I will definitely cover other things, okay? Now there is something called comprehension techniques. This is important, so I will cover maybe in the next session, but for now let's move on to something called functions, okay? Now functions, we have been talking since yesterday. We have talked about built-in functions like print, type, help, dir, len is a function we have checked today. Now I forgot, but I can also do, there's a D is a dictionary, and ln of D, what is the idea? Any guess what is the size length of this D? Yes, any idea before we try? Just I want your obvious answer. What comes in your mind? 2, Abhidip. Perfect, right? So yes, guys, there are 2 elements. I see many answers. Anupama, Tariq, Abhidip. So you guys are right, and the answer is 2. Okay. So these are two elements in the dictionary. So 2, and length of list also gives you the values, right? And these are some functions we have seen. These are called built-in functions. Okay, and we have also seen object function. Example, split is object function which belongs to string object, right? And there are some other functions we have seen, like append from list, then capitalize from string, or dictionary items or values from dictionary, and so on. Okay, so these are the build object functions. Now there is something called user defined functions. Okay, so what is user defined function is, many times we want to do some stuff for multiple times. Okay, so in that case, it is a good idea to club this together, similar task in one place, and call that functionality, right? For example, I want to add 2 numbers. Okay, I have suppose we are adding 2 numbers now. Okay, and let me do addition is done, right? Sorry, it's done. Okay, and here before that, z equal to a plus b. Suppose every time I get 2 values from the customer wants us to do this is not equal to plus. Okay, now a equal to 4 and b equal to, let's say, 5. Every time I get a and b value, customer wants to do that, print z also. Okay, customer wants these 3 lines as output. Okay, on their web interface, let's say, or whatever, right? So this is what they are looking for. So now this is done, right? And tomorrow they give some more another value. Okay, and now I have to write this is 45 and this is 2. And do I need to write again here? Yes, I have to write. So now these things happen here also, right? So pretty much fine, right? No problem. But do you think this is a good practice where I have to write so many lines of code, to do the same task again and again, right? So such kind of stuff we can move to some functionality, and we can use that functionality like putting in some block, and we can call that particular function here, right? So now just to give you one more simpler example, I go little hard first and then the simpler one. Let me do this. Let's say I have print sorry, print welcome to Python. Today is Sunday. Print thanks. Okay, suppose these are the 3 statements I want to greet the moment I see new entry, or or anything for that matter, right? So now if I want to print this the 2 times, I have to write this 6 lines, right? If I want to print this 3 times, I have to write this way, right? But instead of that, if this is a common header or a banner type of thing, what we can do is we can put this all things in a function, and that function is can be written something like this. Okay, so here now this is executed, nothing happened, and if I call greet, this happened. Now if I call again greet, this happened. Now if I call again greet, this happened, right? Now I can call this function many times, but not repeating these 3 lines of code again and again, right? So this way, this is how we can use this functionality, right? Or some block of code we can put together, and we can invoke that particular piece of software or piece of code from anywhere in your program. Okay, so for example here, again greet once again I want to write. Actually my English is little yeah, so let me greet once again. Whatever, right? See, look at this. So whatever we are doing, we are just doing mixing the code. Wherever I'm calling this particular function, this is how we call the function, and you get what you are looking for, what is there inside this particular function, right? So now here 2 things we are seeing. One is name of a function. This name can be a name, it is like a variable. Now there are some rules to write names for a variable and functions. Okay, rules means like x equal to 5, we have been doing this. So if I can write x, can I write % equal to 5? No, because variable name should be the alphanumeric string only. We can't have special characters like this, right? So it is having some different meaning, right? If I say %df, we don't understand, right? So if I write df, yes, it will understand. If I write fgh, it will understand. This could be the name of a variable which points to the integer object which is having value 5. Okay, but there are some other rules. Yes, Anupama, we can. I'm coming to that only. Her question was, can we use any other word than greet, right? This is user defined function, right? I can use funk and still the things will be same. I was coming to this point only, but anyway, since you said this, it is I'm doing that and it works. Okay, so func, that func is nothing but this all 3 things. Okay, so now what I was coming from point was, I can have any name to a variable, right? But I can't have any name with some special characters, right? That is not possible. Okay, first name, but this is possible, meaning there is only one exception, that underscore is allowed to have to be a part of your variable, right? That is the only exception for special characters, but other than underscore, there is no special character allowed to be a part of your variable name. Okay, that is one. Second is name file equal to Akash. Yes, this is also possible. So that means I can have the number inside in your name, meaning in your variable name, but the only rule is it should not start with name, with number. Okay, this is not allowed. Okay, the Jupyter is helping us to see that difference. I am giving this shows a green and something, so that also indicates that this is something wrong and it won't work this way, right? So we can't have this, right? This is the only rule. We have to remember that the numbers, and it's obvious, by the way, right? And this is applicable to all programming language, or if not all, many programming language. These are the common rules applied for the username or for the variable names. Okay, so now so if this is right, these rules are applicable to function names as well. Okay, so it can't have special function, special characters. It can't start with the number, but it can have number. It can have number. Let's say I can have func2, and that is absolutely fine. I have to call using this only. Okay, that is fine. Okay, so that is possible, but I can have special character, except I can have only underscore as a special character, but nothing, no other character. Okay, there is one question from Raghav that does Python support pointers and temporary variables? So Python does this a lot internally, but for user there is no headache of pointers as such, right? So that means we don't have pointers to deal with the way we do for C and C++, right? And probably Java also, right? But in Python we don't have such something called pointers, but there is a references, right? For example, when I was talking yesterday also, if I create a memory, so y is now a reference to this particular memory, right? The moment I do y equal to something else, right, this reference is broken. Let's say I do 5 equal to 5, so there is another memory created and y is now pointing to that memory. That means this is broken. The moment it is broken, this memory gets cleaned up. Okay, that is what is called automatic garbage collection, right? The moment we see there is no reference to a particular memory, so such memory is cleaned up automatically. So all these things happens internally, so we are very safe here. There's no risk of memory, though there's no risk of dangling pointer, there's no risk of managing your pointers, cleaning up on time, allocating memory. So we don't need all these things. So we don't have pointers in Python. And about temporary variable, I did not understand what does that actually mean. I can have any variable, I just use it, and then later on I can delete that variable, or I can just move the reference to some other object and your variable is gone that way, right? So that way temporary variable is not a concept in other programming language also, but if you have any specific thing, please specify, Raghu. I hope that answered your first part of the question, that is support of pointers. No, there is no such thing, right? But internally it manages with the memory, so it might be doing cleanup and pointers and lot of things, because Python is written over on top of C. Okay, now yeah, this is how we write function. Now let's understand one step ahead, that I want to greet with a name, right? I want to greet Akash. Okay, I don't want to mix these things. I will just remove one here. Oops, sorry. Oh, why? I want to take some positional argument. Yeah, this is wrong. Okay, this is done. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to greet with name. Okay, now here I want to catch, there is something called variable welcome, name to Python class. Okay, and suppose if I want to do this way, what I have to do is I have to call this function with this, with let's say John and so on, right? So this, oh sorry guys, again I'm doing this. I can't have these many such names here. Func3, and this way I'm done. Okay, so here, welcome Akash to Python class, welcome John to Python class, and so on, right? That whatever variable we pass as a first argument, that is a positional variable, positional argument, and that is mapped to the first argument inside your function func3. Okay, so this is how we do pass some arguments inside a function, and we can use it. So inside function, this name is as if it is a local variable there. Okay, now not only that, we can also get something returned from a function. Okay, now what I will do is I will do upper. Can I do something like this? The moment you greet, I have to print also. Let me come to this point again. That, see, look at this greet. The function is called, these many things are executed, and once it is back, we are just printing that function's return value, and that return value is Akash. Okay, let me simplify a bit here. Okay, first part, is it clear? Passing some value and accessing this inside a function. Okay, if that is clear, then I will write a simple function. Okay, and print inside function and return done. Okay, so I do this, and function, sorry, simple function. Okay, I do call this, and look at this. What happened is this is done. Sorry, this is printed, and done is returned. Whatever is returned, we are printing here. Okay, in fact, I can assign this the return value equal to, and what this is as part of executing this function, this particular line is printed. But if I print return value, this return value will be having done, because done is returned back from the function call. Okay, so whatever is there inside this, it will execute and it returns something, and that return value is nothing but your done here, and it is printed. So means there are two keywords we have seen. One is def for defining a function, and the syntax is same. There is a colon, after colon there is a block. That means there is some indentation you have to be careful about. You can't skip that indentation part, so you have to have some indentation, at least one space, or you can have any spaces, but you have to be consistent with all the statements within this block with the constant number of spaces every time. Okay, and if you have one, you can have one for all, right? But generally, ideally the good practice is to have 4 spaces. So that is one. And the second thing is return. Return is a keyword which returns something from the function. Okay, so that is there, right? And if I don't do this, by default it returns a none value. Okay, oh no, it returns none. Okay, it's not printed because it is none, in fact. Okay, even if you do this, it prints none. Yeah, so sometimes Jupyter has some manipulation. So if there is nothing will be printed as such, right? So none is a valid object in Python, right? It is not a null pointer. It is not like a null pointer as well. None means absence of anything, right? There's nothing in short, right? So so none is the object, and it returns none if it doesn't return anything, right? So we have to return if we want to return something, and that value we can store somewhere. So this is about function. A quick thing, how to pass some argument, how to return something from a function, we have seen. Okay, is that fine? Is this too much today? Yeah, so yeah, I think this much I wanted to cover. Basically, in the next session, at least sometime. Okay, Sachin failed too much. So how about others? It's too much, really too much. Only it will print if we give return statement. Anupama, yes, it will return if you give return statement. It will also return if you don't give return statement. ultimately it returns something, right? If you not return anything, means it returns nothing. That is none. Krunal also says yes. That means he's also feeling too much today. So yes is too much. Subhasri say, oh guys, so come on. Okay, no problem. I'll hold on here. So anyway, we are almost close to the time. So no worries. Whatever you understand, grab it. You have week ahead, and few things if you really feel it revising a quick thing. So I don't mind spending one session extra initially. Later on we will see how we can speed up, but this is a foundation. This is really important to get to that level where I was doing this here, right? So it's okay, we can extend a day or so later on also, but feel free to come up with your questions, guys, because this foundation is important and this will help for long run. Okay, actually we covered a lot. Abhideep says that, and Tariq says, can you please explain line number 209? Yes, Tariq, I will do that. Bhupesh said, I have lost 10 minutes due to network issue. We'll cover in recording. Yes, Bhupesh, go through that. If it is really too much for many of people, I would recommend you guys to go through my recording once again. So I have tried to put every concept in detail, maybe in one go if you are not getting it quickly. So it will help you if you go through the recording once again. It's matter of just 3 hours spending once again during your entire week. Okay, and I'm sure in the second reading it will be much clear. Since we have a week time, it is better to have some content to practice. Yes, Harshit, I can give you some hands-on. I have assignment and I will upload today. So guys, try today, sorry, if not today, tomorrow, right? So tomorrow you will get this uploaded. I will put day 1, 2 folder somewhere here in LMS, right? You guys will see, just a minute, I will show you where they will put. I will just point you out there, right? So here you guys can see here, right? The session 1 and recording is already uploaded. The support team is quick here. So yesterday's recording is here and today's recording will be here. Okay, so I will also upload one zip file which will be named as day 1-2 or something like that, and that will be put either under section 1 or section 2. You guys just download it. There you will find these 2 Jupyter notebooks which we have covered in our session for these 2 days, right? And these 2 Jupyter notebooks are like day 1 IPYNB and day 2. Okay, so these things you download, and along with that I'll put a text file, and that text file will be having some hands-on assignment if you guys want to do. Okay, is that fine, Harshit? Can you please show after we install Anaconda how to come to this page where we execute our... Okay, Anupama has a question how to come to this Jupyter notebook. I'll quickly do that, and before that, line number 209 Tariq was asking. Okay, just 2 minutes, guys. I will do this. 209. If it is a question, let us close this today itself. 209. Okay, Tariq. Here this function is, when we call this function, these things are executed, and exactly the same thing is printed here for first 3 lines. And later on, whatever is returned by this function, right? So what is returned? It is returning the name only, but converting it to uppercase, because we are name.upper gives you that name converted to uppercase, and that return value is printed here because I use print statement here. Whatever is returned, it prints. Exactly, if you look at this, it is printing none now, right? It is the return value of simple function which is stored here, and that if I print, it prints none. But in this case, the return value is uppercase, and that's the reason, uppercase name, that's the reason Akash is printed. So except Akash and John, there's no much difference as such, right? It is same thing. Earlier, there's another question from Raghav. Earlier you, okay, Tariq, you got it right. Perfect, thanks. Raghav says earlier you had indicated about another IDE. Can you please let me know once again and to execute Python batch? I got it. Anupama. Okay, Anupama, you got it right. Okay, perfect. I don't have to tell you how to get to the Jupyter notebook. But Raghav is asking about some other IDE. I forgot, Raghav, which IDE you are talking. Is it for PyCharm or Spider, or what is that? PyCharm, right? Abhidip? No, Abhidip and Spider. Yeah, these are the two IDEs, Abhidip, you have mentioned rightly. PyCharm and, okay, let me write here if you guys are lost. PyCharm and Spider. Okay, these are two IDEs you can do. Raghav says Python. Python is not an IDE. Python is an interpreter. Python is a software we are using, and Spider has Python inbuilt. PyCharm has Python inbuilt. Jupyter Notebook has Python inbuilt with some additional packages on that. And if you don't have any of this, still your system can run Python program. You have to just write in the text file, give the extension. Yes, you had run Python 3 and something, right? Yes. So here I don't need anything to run this Python code. So only the Python is required to be installed on your system, right? Even if you do the same thing on Windows, so on Windows you get CMD, the black window command prompt, that is where you can just write Python. You don't have to write 3. It is only Python if you are installing Python 3. The Python space your file name, this file name should have this Python code, right? The moment you do without any IDE, your system will do that. Okay, so in production we don't do install all these things, right? Jupyter and PyCharm and everything, right? There are many IDEs. IDE is just an option, but the good option to have, because that's where we write our programs. But without IDE, this is how you should run. Okay, you try it, you Google it. If you stuck somewhere, drop a mail or message. We will think on that. How can I help you? But you explore first. Maybe you'll solve it. Like Anupama got it. Something she was asking and she got by herself. So I'm sure you guys will get these things. This is not really tough to get to it. And keep on writing, guys. I will share the assignment. And I don't want to. Okay, Abhidip also got that. Good. Bye. Okay, Abhidip. Okay, guys. So we are done now. Let's close the day. It's already too much for you guys. And see you on next Saturday. Have a good week ahead. And see you guys. Okay. Thank you. Thank you again for your time. Bye bye.